elemental discomfort. Ruby remarked conversationally, "I hate you. You know that, right?" Idryll laughed. "I love you too, darling." The sarcasm oozed from her words, pulling a laugh from Ruby. "So, what do you think lies ahead? Spiders? Giant ants? Cave bats? Trolls? I can go on." The other woman shook her head with a long, suffering look. "Perhaps, instead of imagining bad things, you should see what's actually there." Ruby sighed. "Oh, but that would ruin the mystery." She forced herself to her feet and brushed off the back of her trousers, feeling the dust and gravel from the seemingly rarely used tunnel rasp against her palms. Lifting her right palm, she summoned a sphere of fire above it, drawing upon her magic only enough to maintain the flame and a force orb to contain it. She would have to continue to thread power to the ball, but the draw was low and wouldn't impair her ability to fight if she needed to. Given that she spent most of her life subconsciously maintaining a magical disguise as a human, such minimal expenditures weren't too worrisome. She rolled the orb down the tunnel as if she were in a bowling alley, and it revealed a corridor about 8 feet high and 4 wide that ran uphill. Well, at least it's going in the right direction. Her previous experience with the Venemisha had taken her deep into the mountain. A descending route would be demoralizing, since, as far as she knew, her goal was to reach the top. Idryll nodded. "It does indeed. One wonders what dangers lie between us and the mystics." Ruby rolled her eyes. "Oh, shut up." She advanced with the other woman's laughter at her tail. After several minutes of walking, re-rolling the orb every time it bounced back to her, or they reached the spot where it had stopped moving, the object struck an unexpected wall. She approached it with a frown, thinking the tunnel had ended without delivering her to her destination, but instead found a narrow square shaft leading upward. "Awesome. This looks safe." Idryll stepped up behind her and observed. "Climbable. Maybe if you have claws that can pierce rock, sure. For the rest of us, it seems a little dangerous." "Want me to go first?" Ruby shook her head. "No, but come up fast after." "Will do. Be careful." She reached over her shoulder to make sure the draw of her sword was clean, checked the dagger at her hip, and chuckled. "Aren't I always?" She used a thread of force magic to grab the orb and hurl it up the shaft, then discharged a blast of the same power into the ground to propel herself up after it. The claustrophobic walls whipped past in a grayish blur, and she broke out into an open space, landing nimbly beside the opening and drawing her sword. She positioned the weapon before her in a diagonal guard and slowly turned to survey her surroundings. It was unmistakably an arena. It resembled the places she'd seen in history books on Earth, where gladiators fought in a lower ring and people crowded the stands to watch in the hopes that they would win, or perhaps that they would die. Probably both would have been the top choice for those bloodthirsty crowds. A diffuse light grew from the curved ceiling high above to show the arena's dirty stone floor, seemingly hewed from the natural bones of the mountain. The rising tiers of seats appeared to be the same material. It would have been bland and boring if not for the ubiquitous carvings. The seats, the walls, the roof, all of them glowed with illuminated etched shapes and symbols she couldn't penetrate the meaning of, but were familiar from her previous experiences inside the mountain. The scientist part of her brain wondered if it was a language, if maybe Kashala might know what they were trying to convey. "Not important right now, Ruby. Focus." Idryll emerged from the shaft to take position beside her. "Smells like danger." A melodious voice from across the arena floor replied, "Only for those who are inadequate to the task they've taken on." Ruby turned toward the sound. A tall woman stood in a casual pose, left hand on her hip, right hanging loosely at her side. She wore chain armor, silver links married to ebon plates at chest and thighs, and gleaming in the growing illumination. Black leather boots reached up to her knees, and polished metal gauntlets covered her forearms and hands. Her skin was light, her hair